This is for you.
Yes, sir. We are live. We are live, man.
Let's go.
I feel like the lights are a little bit brighter when you're in first place, but you know what it is. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. It's Philly the podcast, and you know I got my boy Brandon with me. But today we have a very, very special guest, my boy Philly Notion. This is a long time coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very happy to have you on here. So hit him with the intro. You already know, bro. You
already know. Hey, bro. Hey, first and foremost, man, thank you both fellas, man. Hey, listen, y'all both do great work. Keep doing what y'all doing because y'all kicking nothing but that Eagle flavor. So y'all already know what it is. Hey, listen. Yeah! Warm it up, though. You know what time it is. You know who you on with. You know who you rocking with. It's your boy Philly Notion. Notion gang salute. Hey, you already know. Let me check this clarity up in here real quick. Hold on. Hey, Belt. Hold on. I'm gonna have to bring the zoom in. Hold up.
Let me move this out your way.
Check. Hey, you already know what it is. Hey, check out the ring though. Check. They know we all the way in there, my guy. You already know. Hey, go check me out though. If you new to the ride, you know what to do. Go hit that subscribe. Again, make sure y'all go hit that subscribe because y'all know how we rocking it, man. Salute to y'all fellas. Let's go get into it, man. You know I'm ready to have some fun, my guy.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. And shout out to everybody in here already blowing up the comments. I promise y'all we're gonna get to y'all. But we got some stuff to talk about, man. So the first thing I want to get into is a hot topic right now. Obviously, Brett Favre was caught complaining from the old folks retiring at home. So I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on that and how Doug Pederson reacted. I just kind of want to see what you're thinking right now.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to give, my honest take on it, of course, I respect Brett Favre, right? Like, I mean, this man's a legend for a quarterback. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like, Brett Favre didn't do some historic things throughout his quarterback career. He's got a lot of similarities to Carson Wentz's play style. So for him to, really come out and say that, I mean, it was kind of questionable. But at the same time, Brett Favre is entitled to his own opinion, which I'm glad Doug Pederson acknowledged that. And he stood by his quarterback. So, I give Doug Pederson the complete, respect for, shutting that down in the sense that he's not buying that. It ain't going to break, burn bridges as far as their friendship. So that was good to hear. Doug Pederson took the higher road, in my opinion. And, hey, I mean, the verdict is out for Carson. We ain't going to act like, hey, I mean, Brett Favre just came out with that narrative out of nowhere. So, again, there's some doubt, it is what it is. But, hopefully Carson has some cleaning up he's got to do to, rewrite his own story. He needs to get out this whole Brett Favre legacy and do his own thing, start his Carson legacy. That's how I feel about it. Again, Doug Pederson, I think he took the high road on it. Brett Favre, he is entitled to his own opinion.
Facts. I mean, hey, I don't like what he said. Like you said, he's entitled to his own opinion, whatever. Me personally, I would have loved for Doug Pederson to, talk a little bit of junk about Brett Favre. I know that's your boy, but, just like Brandon was saying on our video together, if I say some wild stuff, I assume you're going to check me on it. You know what I mean? If that's your boy, you should be like, hey, he's bugging out right now. But next, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, he went the high road, so I do respect that. Any last thoughts on it, Brandon? I know we just talked about it, but.
Nah, I mean, yeah, he took the high road. Would have been cool to maybe see a little sass or something, just like so they can show the media that he's 1,000% sold on Carson. Sure, but at the end of the day, if you're not reading deep into it, then there was nothing there to make a scene out of. He was trying to just get the question out of the way, like, all right, I respect his opinion. That's it. But the Philly media, because, I mean, Philly's Philly. We coming at you no matter if you're the coach, players, whoever. They're just like trying to get at him and try to get him to say something bad. So it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. Like I said yesterday, hopefully just gets brushed under the rug and we move on.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling you. So not talking about brushing things under the rug. All right. I know you had a little, we'll call it a spat, because, I like to set drama. So we're going to call it a spat. But you had a little spat, and they were talking Nelson Aguilar, and you brought up a nice little stat. So I want to say real quick before I move on, Nelson Aguilar is no longer an Eagle. What he does at a different team, good for him. I'm happy for him at this point. You know what I'm saying? If he figures it out, it is what it is. Chris Carter was an Eagle once. He had a alcoholism problem. It is what it is. Just because he moved on and found himself and maybe figured something out that's working for him doesn't mean that the Eagles messed up. It is what it is. He wasn't that player when he was an Eagle. With that said, we do have a kid named Travis Fulgham that is that kid while he's an Eagle. So I don't know. Do you have that stat still on hand?
I kind of have it memorized. So it's like over the last 5 games, and that's like the span of what we've had Travis Fulgham. He's had 12 more catches. I think Nelson has 17 catches. Travis has 29 catches. Nelson has 347 yards. Travis has 400 and some odd yards, like almost 100 yards more. And Nelson has 1 more touchdown. So all it's showing you is that Nelson is being used more in like those long distance, like Hail Mary. Like if you ever see his highlights on TV when they pop up, it's usually like a 40-yard bomb that he's getting. So, I mean, we're getting that from Hightower. If he doesn't drop the ball like Nelson maybe a couple times, Hightower would have more yards than Nelson Aguilar. So Nelson, I respect him. That was our first round draft pick. He had his moments. He was able to break away from tackles and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when he was counted on to be the number 1, when Alshon went down, when D-Jax went down, he choked. He couldn't do it, especially with the Philly media. As soon as everyone, fans and everything started coming at him, he couldn't recuperate. And that's something you need from a guy that is supposed to be your first-round pick or your number 1 wide receiver. And he just wasn't that in Philly. He's not even that in Las Vegas. So, I mean, he's doing his role. He's doing what he's good at, is being like the third option.
Facts.
Straight facts. I mean, my opinion on Nelson, I mean, good. I'm glad he's kind of finding a groove at least somewhere, out there being a Raider. But, at the end of the day, he just wasn't a good fit for us. I mean, yes, he can, he's got a skill set, but his confidence was shot when he was here. For whatever reason, him and Carson just weren't on the same page. I don't know what it was, I mean, then there was plays we was questioning, his effort. Like when you start questioning players' effort, oh yeah, you need to change the scenery because our fans here. I mean, we giving Carson the business right now. So, hey, listen, as a wide receiver, we got high expectations. And, when we begin questioning effort, it's time for a change of scenery. But at the end of the day, I'm glad he's finding a groove. I still, I don't think he's going to be no elite, wide receiver. I think, he's going to be that second, possibly third wide receiver on any team to contribute. So, I mean, he's getting that shot right now, on the Raiders. So good for him. But hey, if, we ever got to see the Raiders, if he's there, what time it is. He got to get dropped.
Facts. He better drop a couple just out of what I'm saying? Like, for old time's sake for us. You know what I mean?
I think that Atlanta game really hurt his confidence. When he dropped that basically game-winning catch, that would have been so easy. He would have scored so easy, and it was a duck. And he
caught such a hard ball before that pause. You know what I'm saying? Such a hard pass to catch. He caught it. And on that 4th down, like, how do you catch that, but not something that's just –
Right.
But I'm going to do like I'm telling the Eagles fans to do. Let's move on. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. Always in the chat. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, obviously. Alshon is so quiet that he doesn't do interviews, and I feel like he will go off because the Giants don't think he will be as good. I like that. And the reason I like that is because I just wanted to ask about you. Now that Alshon is back, what are your guys' thoughts? How do you think he's going to get used in the offense? I'll let you start, Brandon. We'll work you down, and then I'll finish it off.
All right, cool. I think this first game back, I don't expect to see a lot of Alshon. I expect him to come in here and there, kind of get his feet wet. Maybe they throw him a slant so he can get that contact, so he can at least get that he feels what football is like again. But Brandon looked like a podcast.
I had to put that one up.
It's all good. Man, it's getting cold in Connecticut. But and I just wanted to switch it up, stay with the other hat. But okay, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Alshon is able to. I hope him and Carson can get back what they left off at, because if you really look at it, Carson does have a good rapport with Alshon, despite the drama with anonymous reports in the media and stuff. He does target Alshon a lot, and he likes the fact that Alshon is a big body receiver, and Wentz isn't the most accurate quarterback. So when he's able to throw it up a little too high or stuff, Alshon can get there. If it's a little too outside, Alshon can get there. Kind of like what we're seeing in Travis Fulgham. It hasn't been straight on the numbers passes. It's been some passes where Travis has to get up and get them. So I'm hoping that Alshon comes in, doesn't steal the shine from Travis, but it could only be good if he's here to play and really to ball out. I mean, he was my background for that Super Bowl catch for a while on my cell phone. So
Facts.
He has the ability.
Facts. I mean, I think anything with Alshon in it is going to be a boost to our team. I'm still a little salty at Howie right now because, listen, this man could have been on IR at the start of the season. We could have had an extra roster spot. I mean, the man didn't come back until after the bye. So, yes, I expected anytime that Alshon came back is going to boost our wide receiver group. But at the same time, I just hope this staff ain't crazy enough to, start taking snaps from, people that are producing on our team. So, with Alshon being back, it's good to see, and I expect for him to be eased into this game. Hopefully, spelling, Fulgham when he's tired, even possibly I can see a lineup where they have Fulgham on the outside, maybe Alshon on the other side, put Rager in the slot, interchange out Ward. Listen, there's a lot of different combinations that you can do, but at the same time, I don't want to see Alshon just taking snaps, just starting, at least taking it from our top producing receivers. So, look, I'm happy Alshon's back. I think he's going to, be a great impact to this team. But at the same time, I don't want to see him just thrusted in there to where we're dependent on him.
Facts. Yeah, man, Alshon, he's had 2 years off, basically, I feel like. So at this point, we need to see something. But it would be interesting to see where they use him. That's probably my biggest interest, is to see how they're going to use him. Is he a slot now? Is he still going to be outside?
Man, I guess.
I mean, you never know.
Too, though.
Yeah, you really never know what we're going to get out of him. He might be that guy again. If he is, it'll be nice to have. But like I said, it'll be very interesting to see how that dynamic plays out, because there's a lot of youth at that wide receiver core right now. So I agree 100%. Though the mismanagement of him was it was terrible, because we had to lose all of our wide receivers for Travis Fulgham just to see the field. You know what I'm saying? So that made no sense. Like you said, even if it wasn't Fulgham, we could have brought somebody on. Maybe it was Devontae Freeman a little bit earlier before the Giants got him. Whoever it may have been. But I'm looking forward to him coming back. I hope that it's what we expect. But with that said, this coming up, we were saying in the video, I was saying in the video, I should say, we have a lot to look forward to. I feel like this second half, we have a lot of players coming back. We have a lot of tape on the players that we do have. You know what I'm saying? We know kind of what Travis Fulgham is. We know what we're going to get out of Boston Scott, out of every game. Same thing can be said with these linemen. We know what we have out of them. So what do you think is going to be the catalyst to the second half run? Because we're going on it. You know what I'm saying? We'll start with you, Brandon, again.
Yeah, I mean, in order to go on the second half run, the defense needs to continue to play super well. I mean, our defensive line has been getting after. We're tied for second in the league, I believe, with the Bucs with sacks. I mean, that could have been before the bye week, but before the bye week, we were tied with the Bucs at number 2 for sacks in the league. So our defensive line is getting after it. Brandon Graham is having one hell of a season. I mean, that guy's 32 years old and he's playing like he's 28. Like he's been killing it, and I've been excited for Brandon. He's one of my favorites. But it's also, obviously, I think all three of us are going to say it, is Wentz. Wentz play has to be, if not, I don't need him to have 500 yards a game or even 400, but he can't turn the ball over in our area multiple times in our territory. It just can't happen. We're not going to win against the stretch we got going on, because we went through the easy side. We should have had a way better record this first half of the season to make up for the second half, because this second half is a doozy. Like, there's some tough teams. So it's going to have to be between the defense continuing to play well and Carson needs to step up.
Hey, facts. I'm harping on some of those same things. In order for us to have a second half run, one of the more important things I'm looking at is this coaching staff. Let me put that as my top because, I put a lot of ownership on Carson. But again, I look at what positions are we putting Carson in to even succeed. So, right now, I'm just hoping that this coaching staff comes together with some kind of a turnaround of play calling because, we're not running the ball enough, especially we're not utilizing Carson to his strengths. We all know, this man is better outside the pocket. He's better at running, looks like tempo type of plays. We need to keep putting Carson in situations where he's thriving. So coaching is a big one for me. Secondly, of course, yes, turnovers. Of course, that starts with Carson Wentz. Right now, this man is leading the league, in turnovers. So I definitely gotta hope that my man cleans that up this second half. Again, as long as we're getting W's, a lot of that stuff is getting masked. So, hey, listen, turnovers is going to be critical this second half. And then again, our defense, we're just going to have to keep continuing to, bring the pressure. We're leading in sacks right now. That defense is something strong. So if we can lean on that, listen, yes, we got some tough teams coming up. We got Seattle. We got Green Bay, the Saints, the Cardinals. Listen, we got a tough stretch. And I'm telling y'all right now, if we can get those things fixed, hey, contenders we going to be. Let's go put it like that.
Facts. Hey, I agree, man. Big shout out to Philly Fresh, the general in the building, man. Salute to my guy. Very happy to have you in here. But yeah, man, we just got to do what we've been doing well. Continue to do that. It sounds simple, continue to do what you've been doing well and fix what you have not been doing well. You know what I'm saying? We have enough tape that we can look back and say, this is what we got to fix. This is what we got to do moving forward. I want to go back to one of these questions that someone asked, and it was, why have we not signed Steven Wisniewski, however you spell it, if that's even how you say it, to be honest, but either Penn State alum, I should know how to say it. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think that he's somebody you would sign for some depth on that line right now?
3 weeks ago, yeah. But now that Sam Malu's getting healthy, he should be back. Then you have Herbig, who actually played well. Then you Pryor's still there, Mailata's there, and then Jason Peters, and and Lane Johnson. You have the guys now. And when they're healthy, then you have depth. The problem that we had 3 weeks ago is that literally our starters in depth were all hurt, and Driscoll too. Can't forget about the rookie Jack Driscoll. So it's just like we have those pieces. So would it be nice to get a familiar face in? Yeah, but if we don't have one, the cap space, or two, we would have to take someone else out in order to get him in. Then who would you guys remove on the 52-man roster to even get him on 53-man roster?
Yeah, no. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, pretty much. I think so. And just to bring back the actual, I'm sorry, here I'm over here looking at this. My bad, fellas. Hold on 1 second. Hey, take it from me real quick. Yeah. Hold on a minute. My fault. I'm trying to get my screen here right.
What was it? I forgot the question, and I'm the one that asked it. Oh, Steven Wisniewski. I think Steven, like you said, I think a couple of weeks ago that was a need. Right now, I think we have different, necessities. Maybe in a week or two, we see what happens. Even especially with this COVID thing, maybe he is, now that I really think about it, maybe he is a signing that you make and, kind of stash him. But, I'm not mad at that name being brought up. I know a lot of times Eagles fans bring up just random people that get cut or get traded or something. Like, oh, well, we should pick him up. But I'm not mad at that name. But right now, I think we're good. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so with Wiz right now, that was a hot name at the time, I would say. Right now, I don't think that we're going to be desperately, needing it right now. Yes, if we were to sign him, he'd be for depth purposes. So, right now, Wiz, we got Sayamalu coming back, Driscoll's coming back, Herbig's, starting to come into form. The O-line is starting to find some kind of continuity. So bringing in Wiz right now would be for depth purposes. I don't think we're starving for that right now. But again, we're going to see how the dominoes fall because, again, any team that knows best, we go through injury the most. So, hopefully we don't have to continue seeing that. But right now, I don't think we're in a desperate need for Wiz. I think we need to go ahead and gel with this chemistry that we have and see where it goes from there. And I mean, again, if we need that I guess availability of Steve, hey, I'm not going to be mad at that pick either, or making that move. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to jump for that move.
Facts.
So while we're still on the kind of topic, before we move on from like this second half run, I was listening to Colin Cowherd, I believe it was earlier today, and he was talking about essentially you can't change people's personalities. You can get them bigger. You can have them lose weight. You can maybe have someone that's not that social go out to a party and be a little bit more social, but they're never going to really be that social. And so with that being said, he was bringing up the fact that Carson Wentz's personality is he's reckless. He's a reckless player. And do you guys believe with this second half run that a reckless player is someone that we can rely on to really get us to where we want to be?
I mean, honestly, if I'm going to take that, I mean, what other chance do we got right now? I mean, we got what? I know everybody, at the beginning screaming for Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts ain't it. He's not, I would say he's probably about a reckless, quarterback as probably Carson would be, trying to learn and figure out things on the fly. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think Carson is the most knowledgeable. We've seen Carson display this type of stuff. We've seen him, put the team on his back when he needed to bring us to the playoffs. So yes, I'm willing to live with that recklessness that Carson comes with. But again, to make every Eagle fan good, we need to see it in the playoffs. So you got to see, there's two things Carson has to check off in the box, which of course, injuries, we all know that. And then secondly, we got to see the playoff run. So we got to see it. I'm with, I believe he has the full ability to do it. But at the same time, can he stay healthy? Can he be given that opportunity to go ahead and make that run? Because, yes, the skill set is there. Please believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can do it. Yeah, I think like you said, we've seen him do it. My thing is, not just him staying healthy. Obviously, I think everybody at this point wants to see that. Everybody knows they need to see that. But it's about the weapons around him staying healthy. I feel like if we can keep going, with the weapons that we have, if we can have Jalen Reagor, Travis Fulgham, and Alshon Jeffery for the remainder of the season, and he can't do it, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because you did it with Greg Ward, and then I understand that our season was a lot easier that time. Like the end of our season was a lot easier if you want to look at it like that. There's a lot of hard games on our schedule, but at the end of the day, our division is terrible. So you know what I'm saying? If you can't squeeze your way into the playoffs and have your offense working together at some point, that's what I'm looking at more so. But I think he can get us to the playoffs. I think at the end of the day, right now, anybody can get us to the playoffs. It's about not losing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, because it's just like if we lose all of our out of division games, I think we'll still make the playoffs just because the division's that bad. But obviously, that's not what I'm looking for. But that's where I'm at right now. I just think that division is terrible. It would be impressive if we did not make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I haven't even heard Andy Dalton's name in like 2 weeks. Like, I don't even know what I feel like Dallas gave up. And then you got BG, Brandon Graham over here talking junk. Like, he's saying, oh, I saw Amari Cooper's body language. That didn't look good. Like, they're all worked out. I don't feel that actually. This is awesome.
Yeah, somebody even asked, like, and honestly, fellas, do you think like this division is ours to lose? Like, I honestly think it is. I mean, and if we do lose this division somehow, the uproar there's gonna be in Philly, once this season ends. Because yes, I believe at this point, this division is ours to lose. We should be taking this division. Carson should be leading us to a playoff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because I was going to say, even before the season started, I didn't envision it being this bad, but I also envisioned the Cowboys, Giants, and Washington kind of having to work through some growing pains because they're the only one. They're the ones that had new head coaches. We're the only ones that had continuity in at least the head coaching spot. So you figured you had the same coach, the same scheme with the similar players that this was ours to lose since before the season even started, I believe.
Yeah, and remember I wrote an article, and I said the Giants would go, or yes, the Giants would have a better record than the Cowboys, and I said the Cowboys would be 6-10. I think the number was, and you remember the uproar, you remember the messages I was getting, bro, like, and now who looks crazy? And I said
you
that
should have made a bet.
Seriously, I need to find that article, but I said that it would be something to do with the culture because I felt like their culture isn't there. And, I'm not saying that I'm a psychic. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I might be. That's really all I'm saying at this point. But my next question for you guys is, who do you think for the remainder of this season? And I'm going to kind of take Carson out of this because I think that's kind of an easy one to say. Who do you think has the most to prove moving forward for the Eagles? And I want everybody in the comments to let me know who you think has the most to prove on offense and defense. One player from both sides.
I guess I'll go first. My offensive player, I'm going to say Miles Sanders. I'm going to need him to hopefully stay healthy for the remainder of the season. And not only that, but there are times where he has coughed up the football too. We put these turnovers on Carson, but he's coughed up the football too. So I want to see him be able to have that ball security and kind of really show out. He's had a pretty decent year. He had good numbers last year as a rookie, and that was coming from behind Jordan Howard. So he needs to continue playing well and really show out this second half. Plus, he's our best blocking running back too. That dude can get after. There's some highlights of him putting linebackers on the ground. It's awesome. On the defensive side, I'm going to say Maddox. I want to see Maddox play a little better. That number 2 corner spot. Slade's been killing it for his spot. They don't really target him that much, which is a credit to his ability, which means Maddox is getting looked at more. And they play a little off the wide receivers a lot, so he allows those 5-yard catches a lot. But I want to be able to see him get up there and keep up with the receivers, not get beat deep, make the tackles needed, not whiff on tackles and arm tackle. I want to see that Jalen Mills swag, but with Maddox who's faster and maybe a tad bit better at corner.
Hey, facts. Hey, I'm with all that also. And I'm going to tell you right now, I guess on offense, I'm going to go with a different approach. Who's got the most to prove? Jason Peters. If the coach is putting JP in the game and this man comes out looking like, look, I know last game I got to give JP some credit because this man came out there. He looked, like he had some speed at times. He was fighting through things. So salute to him for kind of going out there and doing his thing. But as far as the most to prove, listen, we paying JP a lot of money and we've seen the flashes of Jordan Mailata now. So, we're pretty much, hindering his growth, by putting JP in the game, which we know, it's only a matter of time, fellas. I'm hoping that JP rides out the rest of the season. And he plays in Pro Bowl form and takes us to the Super Bowl and rides us out there. But the probability of that game, y'all know what it is. So look, I just hope that Jason does go ahead and prove us all wrong and take us to where we need to go. Definitely on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to have to go with probably maybe Nickel Roby-Coleman. I'm seeing a lot of things with, just the announcement of his title before he even came over to us, the slot guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, there's been times I've been watching that tape that, hey, listen, there's been some need and improvement there. So there's been times I've wanted to be like, take this man out the game. So, I hope this man gets it turned around this second half also. He does have a lot to prove because, if it doesn't work out this year, if he's continuing to miss tackles and, in the wrong position at times, hey, he's going to find himself being a slot whatever on another team. So he's getting the slot machines. So it is what it is. Hey, those are my two who I think need to improve.
Yeah, no, those are good ones. On offense, I'm going to probably go with Greg Ward. And it's not a bad thing that he has to prove himself. I feel like the only way Alshon Jeffery is not going to be playing is if Greg Ward is. That's kind of how I look at it. If one of those two might not be the third receiver, but they're going to be one of the three receivers. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if Greg Ward can prove with the snaps that he, will get, that he deserves to be on the field, he will be on the field. He's been sneaky good throughout the first half of the season. He's been very consistent, not big flashes or anything, but very Jason Avant-ish. I think we've all kind of made that comparison with him before. So I think if he can prove himself to be, that guy that should be on the field, that'll be big for our offense moving forward, especially, you know what I'm saying? So I look for Greg Ward to really step it up. If we're talking about defense, I'm going to go with the two guys. I'm going with two because they came in and they changed our defense, in my opinion. And I'm going with Alex Singleton and TJ Edwards. I think as long as they can keep Nathan Gary off of the field, they are the best players that have ever stepped in Philadelphia. I don't care, regardless of sport. If they can keep my man Nathan Gary off of that field, and I think all jokes aside, I think that they've played very well at linebacker, especially Alex Singleton. That boy can pop, and I think TJ Edwards gets better with every game. You know what I'm saying? So I like
12
what I
tackles
see
last
out of
game.
them. Yeah, I love what I see out of them. So I think those two, like I said, keeping Nathan Gary off of that field will be big for our defense moving forward, and it just keeps the youth movement going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of off the cuff, I was just kind of thinking this. I know we give Howie a lot of flack, but what do you guys think of this rookie class so far? At least what we've seen of it.
Oh, I mean, it's solid. It seems better than the last couple years. You figure we still got to see Davion Taylor, but we've been able to see Sean Bradley. He's been good at tackling, and he likes to get after it. Kavon Wallace has been able to get playing time, and he was actually playing pretty well that game against San Fran. Who else? Driscoll is pretty solid. He stepped up. He came in at a hectic time and was able to play well. Rager, we're just seeing him come out. I mean, he got his first touchdown last week. That was hype. I'm probably missing some other people, but I'm not mad about it. This one is pretty good. And I mean, maybe it's because I follow them on Twitter and they're all super positive and ready to go. But I feel like this class came in with the mindset of wanting to eat and wanted to prove that they belong in the league.
Hey, facts. Pretty much, I would say, as far as, I guess, the whole, my fault, fellas. I keep on, my screen keeps chopping here. No, so as far as pretty much the rookie class that Howie's put together, gang, I would say this. Listen, from what he's doing right now, I gotta at least give him on that kind of a improvement scale. He's improving, right? Because we know the bust draft picks that he's had previously for us, like a lot of those things, of course, those jump off of the tape at us. When we seeing DK Metcalf lighting up the scoreboard, when we see Terry McLaurin, doing his thing, listen, that all shines negative light on Howie. We all see those. But yes, from what we're seeing from John Hightower and, we're seeing, like you said, Jack Driscoll and, all these people that, listen, we took risks with getting these people. Jalen Rager. I know a lot of people, that wasn't a popular pick. But again, we're seeing, the man actually has heart. Listen, I think he's going to be, it's just a matter of time for him. Of course, he's got to fight this injury bug. But at the same time, listen, Howie, I think he's improving. That's all we could expect from him. We still need to give it time, of course, because we got to see how these things pan out. But right now, I think we do a lot of judgment on Howie from what pretty much the past talent has been. So I give Howie credit for at least, acknowledging certain things. Like he had to acknowledge this year, that Rasul Douglas, who we all was screaming was a bust, Sidney Jones was a bust. He had to make those hard decision moves. So listen, he's improving. I still need to see more from Howie, and especially this rookie class, but I give him somewhat credit for at least, putting a solid draft, it appears, this year together.
Yeah, I feel like before I get too far into this, big shout out to Thomas Arnone and the whole A2D family. Very happy to have you in the chat, man. I appreciate you coming through. Listen, bro. I like what I see out of this class, and outside of 2017, I've never been like a big. I don't want to say hater, but for lack of better terms, I've never hated Howie. I just think right now he's got too much control. I do like what I see out of what we have, and Miles Sanders, another great pick. Dallas Goedert, another great pick. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Howie definitely has a lot that he has to work on, or just not work on at all, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Just not have any responsibility with. But we forget that he has had his hand in a lot of good things as well. So with this, like I agree with you. He's improving. I want to see him keep improving, and it's all about accountability. Everybody just has to hold themselves accountable. If you made a mistake, let's work on the mistake, not you know what I'm saying, compound the mistake like a J-Jaw. You know what I'm saying? Just basically keeping him on the roster really for no reason.
Howie could be the GOAT if he just releases J-Jaw. He's a GOAT.
Seriously. There's and it's crazy because I think we all gave up on Sidney Jones as a fan base. I'm saying I think we gave up on Sidney Jones a little early, Rasul Douglas a little early. You could say that. I think as a fan base, we're gonna scream when things aren't going right, as we should. That's our job. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, we probably could have saved money. We probably could have saved money keeping Sidney Jones instead of getting the slot god who hasn't done much.
I mean, he hasn't done anything. On paper, though, that was good by Howie. Howie gave Jim a lot of new weapons, everything except for a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said, keep Gary on IR. Big shout out to Simone Stanley in the building. And my power is going out.
You got paranormal activity over there.
When it rains in Florida, or when I even thinks about raining in Florida, it just like messes with my stuff. He says the best class in a few years. I agree.
So I saw what Philly Fresh brought up, and one of the names I saw him bring up was Jake Elliott. What has happened to him? Like, I feel like he's missing easy kicks. Do you guys have any kind of idea? Like, is it because we go for it on fourth down too many times and he doesn't get to kick one extra time? Like, why does he stink right now?
I just think, honestly, I think Jake's just too comfortable. I mean, yeah, he's still riding off his, how many yards was that kick that, he made against the Giants that year? Something like, I mean, yeah, he took us to get a Super Bowl ring that year. Yes, sir. So, yeah, Jake right now is like, look, I ain't got no competition out here. I really don't have a hot seat. Nobody's challenging me. But, hey, listen, it's on national television now. Brother, you missing 29-yard kicks? Oh, yes. Bro. You need to get challenged now. So, look, I don't even know if we brought somebody in really to challenge him. But, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I feel about Jake right now. Who's pushing him? I mean, who else they going to put out there to kick, at this point in time? There's not a challenge to Jake. So, he's not really feeling threatened. So, but, I understand with our play calling, when it does start, getting down to the line like that, yeah, you start seeing we're going for it. We're not even trusting our kicker. So I expect for that to be addressed. I expect for Jake Elliott, he need to get his act together. Plain and simple.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I've said this before, like in our group chat and stuff. I feel like Doug doesn't let him get into a rhythm. I feel like even the best of shooters take free throws. They practice their free throws because you have to be in a rhythm. I understand that's all you do at practice. You know what I'm saying?
That's all he does.
I already see you like
tackling drills.
I already see you getting so ready to say it. So I'll say it for you. That is all he does at practice. But, it's just different in game settings. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not an excuse. 29 yards is 29 yards. Don't get me wrong. But I think it is a factor in it. Simone Stanley says that she thinks it's just in his head. It might be, but I don't want no like weak-minded people on my team. So if we got to get Murder Leg back in here, that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? If we got to go to a rugby field and figure out who could kick us some field goals, that's all we're gonna have to do because that's the last position I want to be losing games on. Quick shout out to Infamous 2K asked, let me ask y'all something. Is Travis Fulgham the best receiver in the NFL since the debut? Because the numbers say so, but it's a small sample size. Who wants to take that first?
I'll take that one off real quick because, all right, Travis Fulgham, we know he all kind of came by storm, right? I mean, at least for me, I ain't going to sit here and act like I knew his profile before he joined our team.
Nobody did.
Moss, I mean, when he kind of came to us, of course, he just hit the scene. It was instant connection. I take a lot of that to, yes, Travis Fulgham. Look, this man is putting in the work. Like, he's out there playing determined ball. You see him climbing the ball, to make the big plays. So he's out there playing with fight. Carson's giving him a chance. That's something we see Carson do. Listen, Carson is the leader of this team, especially when he's got these, young developing talents around him. Carson has a strength that he rallies the team or the players around him to say, follow me. Hey, I'm going to give you an opportunity. And these players are taking advantage of it. So to announce Travis Fulgham as like the best wide receiver in the league, I don't know yet. I need to see more consistency. But at the same time, yes, this man is playing determined ball. Carson's, he trusts this man and he's giving him the opportunity to succeed. So, hey, I wouldn't be shocked if it continues, if this chemistry continues. Yes, that's going to be a good duo for quite some time in this NFL. So, yes, hey, he's got the talent potential. I'm not going to call that yet, but yes, that talent and skill set is there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call him the best wide receiver in the NFL just yet. He has more to prove, obviously. It's a small sample size. I mean, the words were right there in the question. But it's exciting to see a good wide receiver on the Eagles, and one that Carson trusts. I believe I brought this up a couple weeks ago that we haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Jeremy Maclin. So if he's already almost halfway there with still half the season left, so if he can at least get us to 1,000 yards to be a 1,000-yard wide receiver, that's promising and it's exciting because he's still young. He's not going to cost a lot of money, so we have a chance to re-sign him, put him on hopefully an honest deal. Since that we're going to be in some cap trouble, but hopefully that he'll remain because this will be the town that he got to break out in with him and Rager, Hightower building together. I mean, you can only hope that he's a great Eagle and then work his way up to be one of the best in the NFL.
Facts. Before I go, big shout out to Philly Talk Podcast and Philly Mike. Major salute to my guy. I've just been starting to do these lives for the past month or so. This man is the OG of those lives. I don't know how he does it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. We did that on Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles. My boy Notion was in there. That was a lot of fun. So shout out to him. Appreciate you coming through. I wouldn't say he's the best. Obviously he's got some work to do. The numbers show the numbers. The numbers are skewed. Numbers are hard to really read, especially when you put them up against, past players. The game changes every year. It feels like, especially now. But on the film, he looks great. And he runs great routes. You could tell why Wentz trusts him. You know what I'm saying? There's no why is he getting this guy involved? There's really no question of why Wentz just throws the ball up to him sometimes. So he's on that route. Travis Fulgham is projected 1,230 yards, 13 touchdowns, and that's with missing 4 games. That's almost unheard of.
Hey, man.
Damn.
If that can be his stats and get us to the playoffs, hey.
Steven, I am doing this on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, just check in the description and there's a link to this video. So you can just come on in there and make sure you hit that subscribe button. But yeah, man. But what were you going to say? My bad. I'm sorry. I cut you off, Philly Notion.
Oh, no. I was just going off what my man was saying. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we still got to see a lot from Fulgham. I think, that's the overall view of that. Look, I mean, the talent's there. As long as they can keep grinding and keep, working together, those were some epic numbers. So I don't know if that trajectory is going to stay the same throughout, the rest of this year. We got Alshon coming back now. We got Jalen Reagor coming back to the field now. Miles Sanders. There's only one football. So, we'll see how this thing gets distributed out. We got a lot of playmakers now, hopefully that can turn this thing on when we need to. We just need to turn down on these turnovers and these interceptions. So, hey, let's see what it is. But, yeah, Travis Fulgham, listen, that man, the sky is the limit.
I think this dude just hit it on the head. Travis Fulgham is exactly what Jay Shaw was supposed to be. That is the very truth.
It'd be like that, right?
Facts. So let's talk a little bit about this Giants game. All right, let's go over what you guys think. We don't obviously have to go too deep into. I'm sure Philly Notion, you got your video coming out. I'm not gonna pry too much, but what are some of the stuff you're looking to see in this Eagles versus Giants game?
Definitely. You know what? I think it's going to be a similar fashion to the first. Let's just going to put it like that. Rinse and repeat. So, look, we had a good formula the last game, I think, in a sense, as far as, what we did at the end or in the second half. We need to put that kind of effort together the whole course of the game. Again, some of the biggest things we've already been talking about, turnovers. I'm tired of seeing this team come down, in the first half, playing from behind against these sorry teams. So, look, I expect for us to come out dominant this game. Again, a lot of this is going to be predicated on how we use our quarterback, Carson Wentz, put him in positions to succeed. And I want to see a whole heavy dose of running the ball this game. We need to at least establish that, and then if that's, once we get that going, start using some play action, start getting Carson loose out there. But yes, this should be a game. We should be coming out early and strong. As long as we're not playing from behind, I think we're going to take the top off of these Giants this Sunday. So that's how I'm feeling it.
Yeah, we got to play confident, and we can't play as if like we know that we're going to beat them, because every time we play the Giants, even though we've won the last 8, they've always been close games and too close for comfort. This last game, it took Evan Ingram dropping a ball that I've seen him make the next 2 weeks in a row of diving. He dives for that ball. We're not even talking about this right now. I think Castro said this would be a cooking show, so we would be cooking some omelets right now. But yeah, I mean, we got to limit the turnovers. Obviously, it'd be nice to see 0 for once. Have this game be the first 0 turnover game, no fumbles, no interceptions, nothing of that nature. And then I was listening to Lord Brunson. Shout out to Lord Brunson, but he brought up this crazy stat that our screen game has only mustered like 38 yards this season. Like, how is that even possible? That's supposed to be our identity, is the screen to the running backs, the crazy big screen to the running back, throw it to Goddard or Ertz under the screen. Like, where are those plays that other teams are running still and then that we're not doing well at? I mean, you have Boston Scott. The guy's 5'6". He could hide behind everyone, throw the screen. He's good at it. Keep it going and keep running the ball. And Carson just can't turn it over. Easy as that.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, and I think everybody's hitting it on the head. My man says we need to get back to scoring every time we get in the red zone. That's a big fact.
Was a huge thing. It was the Giants. We were there 5 times and we only scored like twice. That's terrible.
I mean, when you run out of plays, what do you expect, Brandon? He only came with so many amount of plays. If we don't score 31 points in the first 10 plays, I mean, what do you really expect? Yeah, no, I 100% agree, man. What was you gonna say? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, then we start running Carson Newton, I like to call him, those plays where they think he's Cam Newton and he's not running no power option. Just don't do it with Carson. He's not doing it. He's not fast enough.
I agree 100%. I think this is a come-up game for everybody. I feel like the key to this game is everybody has to play and coach like they know how. You know what I'm saying? We are, or I should say we were a Super Bowl favorite, playoff contender, whatever you want to call it, before the season started for a reason. You know what I'm saying? We had our injuries. People are coming back. There's no excuses moving forward. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say that there was excuses before, then it is what it is. It's over. But moving forward, we've said this before. We're basically 500. It's 0-0. We control our own destiny. You know what I'm saying? So we have to move forward like that. And we all have to play like that. They have to coach like that. And we have to be smart. I want to see a blowout. I know it probably won't happen. But as long as both sides of the ball play well, you know what I'm saying? It might not be. I want to see 34-14 or something like that at worst. But if it's closer, as long as there's reasons, you know what I'm saying?
A clean
exactly.
game.
I want to see a good game out of everybody for 4 quarters for once. You know what I'm saying? Giants 25th in passing defense. As Fresh said, it should be bombs over Baghdad. Big facts. He
I
says,
think
I
they
want
got
to see
one of their corners
Alshon.
possibly out too. So,
They're
and
going to
listen,
bring who?
they got one of their cornerbacks. I think might be out too. I have to check their injury report for the game and all that. But fellas, the opportunity is gonna be there. I mean,
Right.
But again, I'm not gonna sit over here and let's not act like the Giants ain't least at playing. They play, in my opinion, with the second most amount of heart in our division. Of course, Dallas is tapped out. Giants ain't really talking about that tank business too much. They're at least trying.
They gave the Bucks a battle.
This is like their Super Bowl, playing this Sunday. So I'm sure they're gonna try to come with it because they have some kind of season hope. But yeah, we need to end all that confidence early this game.
Yeah, we need to ball out, man. Like I said, there is no excuse for us to not play well. But like you said, they are coming out and they're playing. They are trying their darndest, if you want to say. They are not giving up, unlike some Cowboy fans. I don't understand how you could ever just like tank this early. I understand the injury it's a rough one, but I don't know, man.
Next man up,
man.
Yeah, exactly. They're not used to it. We're used to the mantra.
You're talking about the draft in April. It's terrible.
So I hope we don't get rid of Maddox because he's sweet on the outside. He's an inside cornerback. Jim needs to move him back. There's a lot of people that may be playing out of position right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel Nate Gary found his perfect position on the IR. Like if he stays there, he can be an all-pro IR. I don't know, man. I'm just throwing stuff out there at this point. So all right, we've been kind of, I won't say negative. We've been real. So I want all of us to give one good thing, one bad thing about the Eagles season so far. You know what I'm saying? What can we look back on and be like, that was good? And I'm sure the bad part will be very easy. So we'll start with you, Brandon, and we can move on down.
Word. So let's see. The one good thing so far. Since I'm first, I'm gonna take the easy road and say the emergence of Travis Fulgham. We've been talking about him throughout today, the last week, the week before that. Travis Fulgham has come out. He's played well. He's becoming one of Carson's favorite targets so far, and that's something you want to see. You want to see a young guy being utilized as a prime player, so then they can keep doing that as years go by. It's dope that Alshon's coming back, and if him and Alshon have a good connection too, hey, more the merrier. But I'd rather see Fulgham really ball out more than Alshon, because chances are Alshon's not going to be here next year, and if he is, he's definitely not going to be here the year after that. Fulgham can be a piece that we can have for years to come with Carson and develop that chemistry as long as we have Carson. The bad, I guess we can go with injuries. I mean, the injuries on the offensive line has really been huge this season. It's been one of the reasons why Carson has not played his best, is because he's scared up there, to be honest. Let's be real. He has a new offensive line every week, and it's just the continuity. Then you're not really getting the blitz pickups right. Then you're fumbling because you're holding the ball too long, and you're deer in the headlights. And just getting that continuity on the offensive line could be so much more. And then we can really say, you know what, Carson's really not seeing this if the offensive line is actually playing super well. So those are my two things.
Facts. Hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and go with Wet. So as far as something being good on the Eagles right now, that was good to see throughout the season so far. A lot of people may not agree with it, but I'm going to say Carson. Listen, we're seeing our quarterback right now get tested through a lot of adversity right now. Like, this man was getting booed by the audio system.
Yo.
So, hey, this man had a serious, heart check for this team. So, just to see him not fold up the tent. I mean, we're still in this fight. So, right now, I got to give credit to Carson for at least sticking through this. He could have checked out, when everybody was calling for Jalen Hurts. But it's good to see him still sticking through this. Yes, he's leading the league in turnovers right now, but he's pulling out these tough wins when he needs to. So that's one of the good things I'm going to take right now. One of the things that's definitely a negative on the opposite end of that, of course, is going to be my coaching. Like, I don't know what's going on. Why these coaches, I think there's too many hands in the pot. this is like, you don't know what's going on behind the curtain back there. I don't know what Marty Mortonweg's doing. I don't know what Rich Scangarello's back there doing. Press Taylor is suspect to me right now too. So a lot of this is just the entire coaching staff, which I hope that they turn this thing around. The communication needs to get better. In my opinion, before this this first half of the season, I'm screaming for Doug Pederson. He needs to give up the play sheet. In my opinion, I think he'd benefit from having an offensive coordinator, but that's not what the situation is. It's not our reality right now. So what we need to do is hopefully hope that, there's a turnaround this second half. Otherwise, absolutely, I expect for there to be some changes made in that department immediately.
Yeah, well, y'all both took my answers, so I appreciate that. But I'll say for a good thing, I'll say Rodney McLeod, to be honest. I think Rodney McLeod sneakily, he's been going crazy. And it's between him and Brandon Graham right now that have, I don't want to even say surprised me the most, but they've, proven their worth the most right now. Rodney McLeod has been asked to basically be the leader on the field. And I feel like he has. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear his name called much in the game, which is a good thing for a DB most of the time. So, hey, I think that's a good thing right now. You know what I'm saying? It says, I agree with your notion. Look at that. Boom. No sticks defense. And then I think the bad thing right now is we still can't seem to shake the injury bug. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in necessarily bad luck. But at this point, it's like, come on. Like, it's like, what's
in the water.
On? Yeah, I just don't understand what's really going on with our maybe it's the staff. Maybe it's we need milkshakes in the bill. I'm not sure what's going on with this team and our injuries. It just every year after year, seemingly since 2017, just seems like the ongoing story. You know what I'm saying? I can record a video right now talking about next year's injuries. It feels like, you know what I mean? Like it just every year it's the same song and dance. Yeah, it makes no sense. So it definitely frustrates me. He says what Wentz haters don't see is that no QB in the NFL would be successful with what Wentz has to work with. Bad coaching, a healthy offensive line, a healthy or offensive line. Injured. Yeah, I think he said an injured offensive line. I don't know. Either way, yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
No, but seriously, because Shannon Sharp brings it up all the time. He says, now you put any quarterback, let's say Dak Prescott, on a team where his 3 top wide receivers are gone, his 2 tight ends are gone, his offensive line's injured, his running back's hurt. What quarterback's going to succeed in that kind of system? So, yeah, we get on Carson because there are times where there are plays where he's just doing bonehead things like that whole running out of the pocket and there's no one there. He doesn't throw away the ball. Those are bonehead plays that we can put on Carson. But the fact that we had to get rookies involved, the rookies that we didn't think were going to get involved right away, like Hightower, we never knew about Travis Fulgham. He was on, I think, the Packers practice squad that we snuckily got. So, I mean, like we had to get players that weren't going to be the starters or the people that were going to get so much shine. And then people want to give Carson so much crap and say, oh, you guys, all you do is defend him. Just imagine having your quarterback on that. Just plug it in on Madden. Go put the same players in Madden, plug it in, and tell me if you win games like that.
Exactly. That I think that's the problem. A lot of people think it is Madden. A lot of people think this is Madden. Like you can just plug and play. Like that's not how it works, man. And even on Madden, if you look at our backup offensive linemen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, they're like 50s.
Exactly, bro. We're putting in high school coaches, man, at this point. Like, it makes no sense. Shout out to Josh McCown. But, you know, it makes no sense how people just hate on what I don't even want to call it hate. They just don't watch. You know, with Dak, I feel like it's very palpable. His stats, you can see his stats. You know what I'm saying? You can see that he threw 350 yards and lost. You can see that. You know what I mean? With Wentz, you can't see that everybody was dropping 10 passes again. You know what I'm saying? People weren't running the correct route. He had a half a second, and you can't see stuff like that unless you watch the game. Right. You know, so a lot of people, you know, namely NFC East foes or people that just want to talk junk about Carson Wentz, they see the stats, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they go by. They go by the numbers, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know, and a lot of times, especially these past 2 years, it's so hard to go on the stats of Carson Wentz because there's so much going on around him. You know, it's kind of like our defense. You remember our defense with Chip Kelly. Our offense was moving so fast that our defense looked terrible. You know, and then the next year we slow it down and we're a top 5 defense. You know, Jim Schwartz had a part in that, but we had the players in place to be a top 5 defense. They just weren't, you know, put in the right system. So there's so much going around with Carson Wentz that it's hard to just say he sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Way too much.
I'm just glad Aaron Rodgers ain't get Devontae Adams and Travis Fulgham. Facts.
Yeah, I think another thing with Carson, like, you know, of course everybody knows, you know, the big issue with him holding the ball too long. Like, you know, one of the things, and shout out to my guy, man, his name's B More Philly, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, if you look at just the plays that we're calling for Carson, like, I mean, you know, these times these plays take time to develop. So we're not, you know, calling the quick slants. You know, right now Carson's leading the league in getting sacked. I mean, a lot of that is because of our coaching and the plays we're calling for this man. So, you know, again, I don't put all this blame completely on Carson. Of course, you know, some of the interceptions too. I mean, we got wide receivers not running back, you know, putting in the effort. I mean, they're rookies, of course, but they're not coming back to the routes to catch the ball. You can't put that completely on Carson. You know, you got certain play calls where we're drawing up plays for Carson and 2 wide receivers on the same location. That's on coaching. So, again, a lot of this stuff, you know, it's what position are we putting in Carson? Yes, he holds the ball too long on some of his own occasions, but at the same time, you know, listen, this coaching staff, we ain't doing them no kind of justice. We know we came into this season with a patchy O-line, and it ain't, you know, it ain't changed. So we need to tailor more plays to Carson Wentz, and hopefully we see a second half surge this second half, fellas.
Yeah, facts. I mean, this guy said it best. He said, did you guys see Rivers running that 2017 offense last night? Quick passing and running the ball. That's what we need to be. That's what we should be. I mean, we have the players. I feel like maybe we need a bruiser running back, but this is about as healthy as we're about to get over these next couple of weeks. So I'm going to keep saying that there's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask a couple more questions and then we'll move on. You know, we'll get you out of here, man. But I want to know, moving forward, what are some of your biggest concerns? Maybe it's a game, maybe it's players, but we'll start with you, Brandon, then we'll move down to Philly Notion.
Yeah, my biggest concern is not winning these next 2 games with confidence. I do think we should be able to beat the Giants, and I do believe we should be able to beat the Browns. They don't have OBJ. I think this is a chance to, if we can stop the run, we could beat the Browns. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but outside of that, I mean, Jarvis Landry is a good wide receiver, but I think that's a game that we can come out and win. So let's say we win those next 2 games. My biggest concern is that 3 games in a row. The NFL, I don't know what they were thinking. Philly must have did something, but then they give us the Packers, the Seahawks, and the Saints all back to back to back. That's messed up. Those are great teams. And so that's my biggest concern, is that if we get into those games and let's say we lose the first one, fine, whatever, because you know what, they're good teams. But if we lose the first one, then we lose the second one, are they just going to be so demoralized that we lose the third one, then we lose the next one, and we lose it, and then next you know, the Giants are sneaking ahead and they win the division? Like those kind of things. That's what concerns me about. My biggest concern is that little small gap in our schedule that is just that they're really good teams right now, and it is what it is.
Hey, listen, I mean, my biggest concern, I think I've been stressing this whole stream, fellas. Coaching. Because if these coaches cannot, you know, come together, if there's not an established leader voice, you know, look, I don't know if y'all have seen, you know, when Carson comes back to the plays on the sideline after the play is over, there's not a coach in his ear. Doug Pederson ain't over there talking to his coach. You know, he's over there getting talked to by the third string, you know, quarterback or whoever, you know, is out there. No, we need to see Doug Pederson take his quarterback, break the plays down for him. I expect to see, again, you know, a change with play calling. I think that is critical, you know, to us even having any kind of success moving forward. So that's my biggest concern, because right now I haven't seen it this first half of the season. And all I can do is hope that, you know, they have figured this thing out during the bye. and I expect to see it during the Giants game. And again, I know we're quietly right now, as garbage as those games look, we're on a 2-game win streak, fellas. Let's
Thanks.
not, as soon as we handle this business, which I expect, listen, we could be on a 3-game win streak. Keep stacking the wins. But it's all going to start, in my opinion, which I am concerned. Hey, listen, we need to get our coaching game together.
Yeah, if I had to say my biggest concern, my biggest concern, I know it's kind of probably an easy cop-out, but it's Carson's health, because I just want to see him get a fair shot. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him at least prove to us he's not a franchise quarterback. I feel like if he gets hurt or if we keep having injuries around him, it's so hard to evaluate your team when you don't have your team. I keep saying that. It's so hard to say what Carson is when you don't have anything around him. We had the same kind of issues with McNabb. Until you put the team around him, you can't ask the quarterback to do everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, he does now have a good team around him. So I do expect him to be fine and be good. But, the injuries kind of go with that offensive line. So we have to see them play well. So it's kind of a twofer. I want to see Carson stay healthy, and I want to see our team be able to protect him enough to stay healthy. So that's my biggest thing right now. Next question. What do we do if we lose? I know that's probably a rough question or a rough thing.
Let me take it. If we go ahead and lose this game, I expect for there to be some kind of a, cleaning of house within the coaching staff, starting in the coaching staff. I don't know which coach is going to be. I honestly don't think Doug's going anywhere this year. He's going to ride. If we lose to this game, we're going to be on a floating turd ship. That's exactly what we're going to be on. And Doug's going to be the captain of that. Now, who's going to be walking the plank? I don't know. I would hope for it to be all of them coordinators. And hopefully we need to, get some kind of a coordinator, in-house. So, look, I'm going to tell you right now, if we lose this game, the city of Philadelphia is going to be calling for some heads. There's going to be some firings, I think, that next morning. Because, we've got expectations over here in Philly. 2-7 teams, we need to be getting these wins early because, as you said, we got the Packers coming up. We got the Steelers coming up. We got the, the Saints coming up. Again, all, contending type of games. If we're losing to the Giants on Sunday, a 2-7 team, listen, look, we don't need to be in no discussion with nothing. We need to go ahead and, just like everybody else, tank time. I'm sure the calls is going to be coming from in-house. And I'm going to have to squash it. But at the same time, listen, it's going to be a problem if we lose this game, fellas.
Yeah, facts.
If we lose this game, I'll be probably pretty depressed. You see me on the show just sitting back like, yeah, this is fine. Yeah. This is a game that we normally we should not be worried about. This shouldn't be, especially with the way the Giants are. They don't have Saquon Barkley. Their number one wide receiver he's good to say the least. He's decent. And their defense has been playing better, but still, we should be able to put numbers on them. And the fact that we're even sitting here worried about the Giants and the fact that we almost lost last time, we only won by 1 point. Like we put up 29 points against the Ravens, 30 points against the Steelers, or 28, whatever it is. And then we can only put up 22 against the Giants. It's weird. I don't get it. Maybe because it's the division and it's tough and they know us, blah, blah, blah. We need to win this. I'd have nothing else to say besides I'll be probably depressed. That's about it.
I know I said this last time and nobody believes me, but if we lose, man, this is gonna be. I'm gonna cut up some onions. I'm gonna be cutting up the ham. We making omelets on Monday. I'm telling you, Brandon. This is a cooking show, man. Now, if we lose, man, like you said, heads got to roll, man. People got to be held accountable. I know people hate hearing me say that at this point, but that's what I excuse. That's what I expect. Like, this is not a game you lose. If it's close, I'll be upset. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. It's those accountability. I was going to bring it up earlier, but then I forgot, is when Notion was mentioning that Carson's been making these mistakes, but then we've been able to squeak out with wins here and there. And part of me feels like that helps, like, kind of brushes it under the rug. It's like, all right, Carson, you could do better. At least we got the win. At least we got the win. And then they don't hold him accountable. Like, he still needs to be talked to, or he needs to mentally think, we just lost that game, or I didn't play that great, like, to a losing standard. That there needs to be some kind of fire, something that shows, like, all right, how many times am I going to say I got to look in the mirror to just throw the ball away? When I'm not asking you to do something crazy. You don't see anyone open, throw the ball away. It's easy. And then when he does throw the ball away, it's the most sketchiest throwaway that any quarterback does. The guy looks like he's either going right to the ground or he's about to throw an interception. I think he did throw one interception when he tried to throw it away in the back of an end zone. It's terrible. And there's accountability.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, hey, like you said, we're gonna be cutting up some tapes if we lose to this team. Right, bro. Hey, listen, it's gonna be a problem in the city of Philly. It's gonna be an issue.
Right. He said Joe gonna go crazy in chat if we lose. That's a big fact. He said, "Hey, on the bright side, at least Slay looks like he's in it." Yeah, he's fine. He's doing good.
Yeah, Slay's not the problem at all.
I have little to no faith in Doug or Schwartz. See, it's so weird because in the second half, if you look at last year, we did great in the second half. The year before that, we did great in the second half. They just seem to turn it on. And then, like you said, Brandon, everything gets swept under the rug and we go through the same thing the next year. Like, it just doesn't make much sense. So hopefully they can figure something out, man. But
I saw one stat that said that Doug is 1-3 after the bye. Don't want to put any bad juju out there, but I saw that today as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he better be 2-3 after the bye. he better figure this shit out, man. Because
I was actually going to ask you guys, do you guys, because we had the bye week and they were off and everything, and then the player and then a coaching staff, whoever personnel end up testing positive for COVID, so they've been in a strict COVID whatever this last week and a half. Do you think that's going to play a part into the preparation for the Giants?
I don't think so. I think that because we kind of already had, we had that experience initially in the offseason. They had to go to that whole, what was it, the virtual?
Yeah.
Whole little virtual training thing where they had to do all that. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big of an adjustment for our team. They're going to have to go back to whenever, whoever that coach is, they're probably going to have to go back to the virtual state. And, but again, this thing is so uncontrollable. So there ain't no telling. I don't know who he came in contact. We don't know all those things. So
right.
All I do is just hope for the best. I'm happy football's here, but again, I'm sure this ain't gonna be the last situation we're gonna have.
Right.
Yeah. Facts, to be honest, like, I don't even want to sound grim, but like, if they got away from football for the past 2 weeks, that might not be a bad thing. I thought they all might need to just kind of reset. You know what I'm saying? Get away from the media, get away from the field, get away from and just figure out what's going on inside themselves. Because I feel like, this was a really long first half of the season. When you have a late bye like this, it's really hard to have those weeks where you kind of just self-reflect. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they just needed a couple days to go home, have some hot chocolate with the kids, and just figure themselves out real quick. Luckily, they didn't have to travel. Is this a home game or away? Are we
it's in New York, but I think they just hop on the bus or the train.
Exactly. They're right down the street. So either way, you're not traveling very far. So you got to stay basically home for the past 3 weeks, if you're including this upcoming week. Chill, relax, figure out what you got to do as a person, as a player. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Rest your body and just figure it out this week. I don't think it'll hurt us. I'm hoping it'll help us. Like I said, I hope that they just kind of needed some time away from each other to kind of grow a little bit closer. Sometimes distance makes the heart grow fonder, or whatever they say. I don't do long distance relationships, so I don't really know. You said I'm watching the XFL if we lose. Big facts. Bro. I can't wait till they're coming back. I'm watching the X League, formerly known as the LFL. That's what I'm going to. The defense plays even better when our offense is having good drives. That's a fact. If we can, hold the offense or hold the defense, on the field, and we're keeping our defense off the field, that usually does create success. Jamon Brown, Can y'all tell Doug to can y'all tell Doug to activate me on the roster? I got better. Let me prove it.
Hell no.
I don't know, man. Infamous says, do you guys know Sean Oakman is? I do. The guy who was supposed to be the #1 pick, but was accused of rape, but being proven not guilty 5 years later. Well, he is out of jail. Should we work him out? He actually played for the XFL, talking about the XFL. And I think I brought it up to you, Brandon, when it first started, that he was playing with the XFL. He used to play for Baylor. I would love for the Eagles to give him a look just because of his story. The kid was a beast. I don't know if you guys remember him with the
I've seen
abs.
the pictures.
Yeah, he was swole. I mean, he was a good player. So I would love to see him come and try out for the Eagles. I don't know if you guys have any opinion on that.
I'm not really honestly familiar with him. Honestly, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I know who he is right now. But at the same time, I mean, look, we'll see how his how his shot goes in the league. I mean, he's got a first what? Is he even in the NFL?
Or no, he's in the XFL. So he was in Baylor. He was in Baylor. I want to say this was maybe like 5 years ago. His story is crazy.
Okay,
you should definitely check it out. Yeah, because the whole Baylor team got accused of, the sexual allegation. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube and still get there, but they got accused of that by some women, and then come to find out he had no involvement. And it happened the year he was supposed to, opt out and get drafted, and it just ruined his chance. He actually, I want to say he spent time in jail, and then got exonerated. So his story is crazy, is incredible. I'm glad he actually brought that up because that is definitely crazy. Jamon, you can play as a defensive tackle. You was great at sacking Wentz. Big facts. Big facts. But listen, man. Listen. I appreciate you, Notion, for coming on, man. We're going to end it up, man. We still got like 20 people in here, so please make sure to hit that like, subscribe. I do have Notion's channel in the description. If I don't, I'm going to double check, and I'm going to make sure I put that in there. But go sub this man up. He should have like 1,000, and he should have 1 million subscribers. The man brings the energy, and he is putting on for Philly. So I appreciate you coming on, man. And we're going to do this again.
Hey, you already know, my guy. Hey, first and foremost, again, thank you, fellas, for having me on here, man. Hey, again, y'all keep up the great work because y'all doing y'all thing out here. So we're going to keep giving it to them for the Eagle culture in full Eagle flavor. Y'all know how we rocking. So, again, gang, hey, listen, I appreciate you for having me on this thing. Appreciate everybody in the chat, for keeping this thing rocking. Hey, y'all know it ain't possible without y'all's help and y'all's push. So we appreciate all the love. And gang, hey, type it. Hey, check my man's description links below. Go hit that subscribe. Because y'all know the journey we on. We on the quest of getting this belt and go ahead and getting another one of these. So
yes, sir.
So, hey, listen, gang, until next time, y'all know what it is. Go keep the notion.
Hey, peace, y'all.